do with that.
Okay.
So here goes the Mangalacharanam. Yeah, Mangalacharanam. Okay, we'll just jump into the first verse. So Mangalacharanam is done for several purposes. So please, you might be knowing that from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So just quickly, what are the reasons why we do Mangalacharanam?
To notify the subject, to indicate the subject of the verse, the adhikari also.
And what more? One is Vastu, what you told
Vastu
right now.
nirdeshatmaka. That's what that is. Vastu nirdeshatmaka, to indicate the subject. Then to indicate the adhikari, to indicate the purpose of the work, because that's different than the Vastu nirdeshatmaka, right? The
Vastu nirdesh is the same thing, the purpose of the subject.
Okay. Also to invoke auspiciousness at the beginning of a work.
Yes. So that the work finishes without any vigna in between. And the third thing is the blessing. The author, he blesses the readers, the audience through the work. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 1, about this Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad, and I just forgot the third term. But these are the things. Krishna mupasitamasya srajamiva namavalim tanavai tvaritam vitare desha tat sahitya dijamodam. So we are not doing the pronunciation session, okay? So please skip that. Of course, it's not that I'm bad at it. I'm okay, I'm average in pronunciation, but this is not pronunciation class. Krishna mupasitam asya. Krishnam upasitum. To worship Krishna. Asya meaning Krishnasya. I'm just, going through the shloka. I'm not looking at all these things. To worship Krishna, what is being done? Asya, arthat Krishnasya namavalim. The various names. Avali basically means a series of something, a sequence of something. So a series of the holy name of Krishna, Asya Namavalim, Srajam Iva Tanavai. Srajam means a garland, and Tanavai means to Tanu Vistare, to expand, or to what does it say here? Yeah, compose will be the right word. Yeah. So to worship Krishna, Jiva Goswami is saying, he is compiling or composing the various names or the series of names of Lord Krishna into a garland like. Iva stands for a metaphorical usage. It's not that Jiva Goswami is literally taking the names and written on some paper and he's just, binding them all together. Like you see in India, in marriages, they have the garland of money, if you have seen. They literally bind money together and they put it into the neck of the bride or the groom. I think groom, it's the groom. So it's a metaphorical usage that the names of Lord Krishna are compiled together. Basically, the concept is it's compiled together like a garland. And what is the reason? Tvaritam vitaret. Tvaritam means quickly, tvaritam. That it should be vitaret, vitran. We say prasad vitran. It should be spread quickly and to the mass people. Esha tat sahityadi jamodam. And what should be spread? The amod. What is amod? The happiness. Vinod, Amod, they are all synonyms. Vinod, Amod, Anand, and so on. The happiness which is born of the scripture, which is the Bṛhad-dhari-nāmāmṛta-vyākaraṇam, which consists of the holy names of Lord Krishna. So such happiness should be distributed all over. Did you get it? See, it's not the direct translation at all, like it is done here. I'm just going through a shloka. Just trying to break down the shloka, because I think this is the thing which we need to practice and we need to do. So did you get the first verse? Was that okay?
Yeah, clear.
Then comes the second one, which you have been quoting since last talks. Ahat jalpita jatitam drishtva. What does drishtva mean, by the way?
Having seen, or having looked at.
Shabdanushasana stomam Bṛhad-dhari-nāmāmṛta-vyākaraṇam Vaishnavarthamāchinmaha. So Jiva Goswami is continuing his Mangalacharanam, that Shabdanushasana stomam. There are many other systems of Vyakarana, of Sanskrit grammar, which had been introduced prior to Jiva Goswami, like Panini, Katantara, and so on. So, but what the problem was, according to Jiva Goswami, that Jatitam, we say Jata, Jata-dhari. So Jatitam and Jata, they have a same root, verbal root, the dhatu. Actually Sanskrit is such a language. Many words, they are correlated, interrelated. We just need to figure them out and, put them together. So Jata is a lock of hairs where the hairs are so tightly combined, I'll say, that it's very difficult to, get them apart. They are sticky and they are just tied together and they can't be undone, so to say. Similarly, the system of grammars except Bṛhad-dhari-nāmāmṛta-vyākaraṇam, they are so complicated, their rules, their usages of terminologies, their usages of different concepts, different principles, so many things, that basically they become like the Jata. They're so like Khichdi. I'll say Khichdi, ISKCON and Khichdi, they are very synonymous. So, and Jiva Goswami really says it's like a Jalpita. It's like Prajalpa. We say Prajalpa in NOI. So same Prajalpa and Jalpita, the same thing. And because it is devoid of Krishna's holy name, so that is basically like the Prajalpa, nonsense talk. And what does it do? It is ahata. In Hindi we say ahata. Ahata means aghat. You know the word aghat? Aghat pahunchna. To get struck, beaten, hit, hurt. That the people prior to Jiva Goswami's compilation of Bṛhad-dhari-nāmāmṛta, they are struck, they are beaten, they are hit, they are hurt by the nonsense talks, nonsense like talks, which are like Jata, which are just mixed up and doesn't make much sense to the people in general, of other systems of grammars. Shabdanushasana stomam. This means of other systems of grammars. So after seeing this, then Jiva Goswami compiled Achinmaha. Achinmaha means he compiled Vyakaranam, the grammar. What kind of grammar? Harināmāmṛta-vyākaraṇam. The system of grammar which is endowed, which is combined, or which is basically made up of with the use of the holy names of the Lord. And for whom? Who are the target audience? If someone asks, Vaishnavartham. Vaishnavanam artham iti Vaishnavartham. For the sake of the Vaishnavas. Jiva Goswami doesn't say Shaivartham for the devotees of Shaiva, or Shaktartham for the devotees of Shakta, because it's not that only Vaishnavas study grammar. There are many sects where people study grammar, the Shaivites, the Shaktas, and many others. So Jiva Goswami could have written Manusya Artham. He could have written, as a general thing, that for all the Manushyas, all the people in general I'm writing. But no, he's making it very clear that he's doing it for Vaishnavartham. That I'm specifically compiling this grammar for Vaishnavas. So it becomes our duty, those of us who are joined or who are in touch with Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that we study the system of grammar generously composed by Jiva Goswami. If Jiva Goswami had given the time he spent in compiling Harināmāmṛta into compiling anything else, maybe a scripture which was like more intimate, describing the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Ashtakaliya Leela, and so on, he could have done that, even. But he took his precious time out just to compile this grammar. So it must mean something, really heavy to us. Otherwise, he could have spent the same amount of time in compiling some more relishable, intimate pastimes of Lord Krishna and so on. But he took out some time to compile this. So we should be grateful, and we must, and have to study. We must, and we have to. Yeah, so there is no other way, and there is no other. So I really become very happy when someone desires to study Harināmāmṛta. It's very rare, actually. Manushyanam Sahasreshu, I'll say. Okay, was that okay? The second verse?
Yeah, clear.
Vyakarane marunivriti जीवन लुब्धः सदाघ संविघ्नाः हरिनामामृतमेतत् पिबन्तु शतधावगाहन्ताम्. In a desert, generally when we hear the word desert, the first thing which comes in our mind is water. Just by hearing the name desert, or let's say just by hearing the name Nirjala Ekadashi, the image of water pops in our mind. Oh, Jal. So why does it? Why so? Because it's very natural that in the desert it's very hot, it's very dry. That let alone the throat, let alone the stomach, even the mind and the intelligence becomes thirsty to have some water. It's the mental thing which starts from, then the thirst extends up to the stomach and to the throat. Even our mind and even our intelligence, they become thirsty. I don't know if you had that experience, but I had. When in the beginning, initially when I was connected to ISKCON, and the very first time when I heard that, tomorrow is Nirjala Ekadashi, and you're supposed to not even drink water, and let alone about all the eatables items. So the night time was all about, I was dreaming about water. And so I was like, wow. So if you think the mind is thirsty, not the throat, because before going to sleep, you had drunk, a lot of water and so on, but still your mind became thirsty. So thirst started from the mind and then extended up to the throat actually. So what Jiva Goswami is trying to mention here is the other system of grammars, they are simply like deserts, where although the system of grammar, the principles are being taught, but the thing is they are very dry. And they are dry, and Jiva Goswami is saying that literally the people who study those grammars, they are literally sort of committing suicide. And they are Jivan Lubdha. They are, what does it say here? They are very much desirous of some water there, something tangible, something relishable there, which is of course Krishna's holy name, which Jiva Goswami is trying to point out it. So people who study other grammar systems, they are wandering into a desert looking for some nectar, but they are sadagh sangvigna. They are always afflicted with difficulties. They're looking for, it's like the material world, people here looking for happiness, but what happens, even if they get some happiness, just a little bit, it's wrapped up with a lot of misery. So similarly, people who are trying to study other systems, they are just wandering into desert, but still they are looking for some nectar. But what they are getting is difficulties and so on, and nothing else. Difficulties and misery. But Jiva Goswami is sort of advertising here his book. But please come here. And what shall we do if someone asks, Harinama, etat Harināmāmṛta-vyākaraṇam pibantu. It's like etat, this. Etat means this. Etat is a pronoun. Etat Harināmāmṛtam. That in a desert, people only look for water, not for Amrita. Please notice that. But Jiva Goswami is a devotee, is a generous person, I'll say, magnanimous, who is not just offering a simple, normal liquid water. No, he's offering a liquid which is even desired by the demigods, Amrita. And that is the Harināmāmṛtam. So it's not just water, it's the Amrita. So he's saying, Etat Harināmāmṛtam pibantu. Please drink this nectar like holy name. So if someone may take a sip, and that's all, then Jiva Goswami snatches the bottle away. No, then he says Shatadha. Shatadha means 100 times, hundreds of times. That you dive into, you drink this Harināmāmṛta, you dive into this Harināmāmṛtam hundreds of times. The concept is you keep it with yourself and relish for lifetime. So this is the point which Jiva Goswami is making here. So is this clear, this verse?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, you can deliver a lecture, Bhagavatam lecture from these verses also. They're so full of philosophy and it really makes a lot of sense. Complete sense actually, not a lot of. Okay, so this is the last verse and it's a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, the famous. Sanketyam parihasyam vastobham helanameva va Vaikuntha nama grahanam asheshagharam viduh. Yeah, so this is who Uvacha? Anyone? Who is saying this?
This is Yamaraj, huh?
Yeah, this is
Yamavacha. Yamavacha.
So, so now after studying the 3 verses of Mangalacharanam, someone may still object, that the use of holy name should be done to please Krishna. Someone may do that. Some pramanic Gaudiya, some Pramanic devotee can do that, make an objection to Jiva Goswami, against Jiva Goswami, that holy name should only be used uh, to please Krishna, as an expression of our love and not otherwise. And that is also right. Then the person may ask, so why you are using the holy name except for the purpose it should be used primarily? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
That response, Jiva Goswami is giving a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, that of course you are true, but this is the quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam which states that Harinam can also be taken secondarily in these ways: Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Stobham, and Helanam. Of course, this is not Shuddhanam for sure, but it is also not Namaparad. It is counted as Namabhas, the second stage. So, and which is really very higher than, first of all, those people who do not even chant, and even higher than those who are into Namaparad. So this is quite a stage actually, quite a stage to chant the holy name in either of these four ways. So Sanketyam means to address someone, Sanketyam. Parihasa means in joking way, in a jolly mood while joking. Stobham means, I think Stobham in musically. I don't know in West, maximum if they use God's name in any music, the maximum, the name which they will use maybe is God or something like that. But in India, in music, they use the names of, even Krishna, even Radharani. I'm not talking of the bhajans and all. I'm talking of the Bollywood songs. When they write their lyrics, so some songs I've noticed, which were controversial, of course, they would use Krishna's name, Radha's name, and so on. So, musically when we do this, and Helanam means when we neglect someone, or when we bejati karna, how do we say it in English? Defame someone,
Like
So-
criticizing them.
Okay, criticizing is the word. When someone is criticizing someone, like haram, if you have heard of that term, Muslims mostly use that word, haram jada. I don't know if you know that word, but so haram is a bad word actually. It's an abusive word, but even there, her stands for hey, vocative address, and Rama stands for Lord Rama or Balram. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says that even though a Muslim chants haram, so that utterance of harama will be counted as helanam, which means namabhas. So in that sense, so Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Stobham, and Helanam, in any of the ways this is chanted holy name, what will it do is Asheshagharam, all of one's papa, agha means papa, will be destroyed just by chanting the holy name in either of these ways. So this is the strength and this is the power of the holy name, which is not chanted for the primary reason, which is to attain love of God, which is to please Krishna, even though chanted in secondarily, with a secondarily priority, then also the effect is Ashesha Agaharam. All one's impious deeds, their effects, the results, they are all vanished just by doing this. So this is Jiva Goswami's response to such people who might object. So that's how Jiva Goswami wraps up his Mangalacharanam, and then he starts with his first Prakaranam, the chapter which is Sangya chapter. So my style is The number of sutras you will memorize, I'll teach them. So, and sutra means this one in Sanskrit. And we also have the Roman transliteration here, of course, and word to word and the translation. So the number of sutras you'll memorize each day, I'll teach it. Whether it is one sutra or two or three, depends on you. So today we'll stop here with the mangalacharanam. And so tomorrow, please come and memorize the sutras. I don't know your capacity, so because you're two, you're not one. You can memorize two or at least three sutras. It's very small actually.
One line, two lines, yes.
And if I say this one, I'm just
Not in, okay, it's okay.
actually I did this,
Okay.
my teacher told me to do that when I was studying.
It's not like shlokas, huh? It'll be like, not like shlokas, not like prose also, like it'll be like...
This is prose actually. This is like a prose.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is simple like a paragraph. But anyhow, I won't bother you with this. So please memorize 3 sutras for tomorrow. Okay, let me just decide it for you. Please memorize 3 sutras. So this one, then the 2, second and the third one. Just skip all this explanation until we study the sutra in class. After that, you can study, no issue. Then the second one, and then the third one ahead. So do memorize 3 sutras. Is that okay? 3 sutras?
Yes.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, means I'm going a little slower in the beginning, but I'll really increase the pace when I see you are doing good.
I just have one doubt, like I'm not so much familiar with, I read Srila Prabhupada's books, but what is your expectation of vocabulary? Like every time we have to look into the dictionary and do it, because many of the things it's new for me. So how do you plan? How do you suggest that one can improve?
Yeah,
It's
okay. Yeah, so Anvaya thing, which I told you before, the Anvaya study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that part I'm purposefully including, keeping in mind one thing which you are mentioning about the vocab. Because when we do the Anvaya part, so naturally we'll be studying the shloka, and in the shloka we'll be studying the vocabulary actually. So I think that will help you a lot, from vocabulary point of view. So, and apart from studying Anvaya in the class, so I don't know which book or in which sequence you read Prabhupada's books, but whatever you read, either Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or Chaitanya Charitamrita, please don't skip the word meanings, because generally devotees tend to skip the word meanings. They generally skip, but please don't skip, because Prabhupada really gave a lot of emphasis and time doing all those word meanings for each shloka, which is quite a thing actually. See, Prabhupada had a great desire to finish Srimad Bhagavatam in his life, but he could not. If he had skipped the word meanings from Srimad Bhagavatam, he had easily completed Srimad Bhagavatam purports. Is it or not?
yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So he gave a lot of emphasis, energy, and time in compiling and in doing the word meanings. And I know how much time does it take for compiling the word meanings. So he would have completed Srimad Bhagavatam, the purports actually, his dream project, which he unfortunately couldn't, and his disciples continued. So please don't skip, and very carefully study the word meanings.
Okay.
And you can, mark it, make a diary, whatever it is. So just increase your reading diet, I'll say.
Okay.
So you read 1 hour, so you'll just remember what you read, afterwards, 20%, 30%. So gradually, when you read the same words again and again, so then that word registers in your mind. It's not just by one reading. When you read the same word again and again in different shlokas at different places, then at some point of time that word registers in your mind. It's not just by one reading. So it basically needs a lot of reading. So just increase your reading diet, I'll say. This is a good term, right? Reading diet.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Yeah, so we'll just stop here for today, and we'll start tomorrow with the both grammar and the Anvaya part.
Yes.
Anything to be added from your sides?
That's it.
Sounds good. I'm excited. We're doing same time tomorrow. Is this going to be our regular time?
Like for me, 8 p.m. is okay. I don't know about you both of you.
For me, it's fine.
Yeah, it works out perfectly for me. I was doing a class before on some other kind of more basic stuff, and that had me getting up at 5 in the morning. And not getting up, but having to be ready for that at 5 in the morning and work my morning program around that because it was also coming from India. So yeah, this is like perfect.
Yeah, time you choose, but I just expect that you be alert, during and while the class is going on. And of course, you take that much, you learn that much, which you can digest, and you work on afterwards. And the next class you come in, so you carry that thing. It's not that you just forget it and you come. We come,
Yeah.
blank. I just don't really appreciate that thing.
Yeah.
So be frank to yourself and be frank to myself also. I just, if you feel you are like unable to continue, then just be frank. It's not a big deal. At some point of time, I hope that time doesn't come for anyone. I'm not discouraging, but don't just drag it, if it doesn't work out for any of us. That's my point. It's not that everyone has to study grammar. No. If someone is interested, his caliber is, then it's okay. Like no one, it's not that everyone has to do management. It's not that everyone has to be a pujari. Similarly, it's not that everyone has to study grammar, So it's not that everyone has to be. So, so if you are doing it, do it nicely, give time. Yeah, that much I'll expect. Okay, so we'll end up here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So tomorrow, same time, and it will be good if you can host the meeting every day, Ujjwal Prabhu.
Yeah, that's no problem. I was happy to when you said you didn't have one. I do some readings quite often in the week, and I've really been struggling with having the 40-minute limit. And so when you said that, I just said, you know what? Okay, Krishna's given me a little bit of money. I may as well just pull the trigger. Consider this, I can reciprocate in some way, and just get a pro account.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
No, thank you. It's some little thing I can. It's nothing. You're the one giving us your time. Yeah.
It's fun for me actually. Actually, I'm not giving. Also, I'm giving time to you, but I'm giving time to myself also. It's
That's
really
even better, because that means it's going to come across nicely because you want to do it. So it's for me, that's music to my ears.
Wow. Okay, so let us start our reading diet, studying diet from tomorrow on a, I'll say 5 days a week basis, not a daily basis. And let's see how it works out. I think it will work out nicely.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.